When Chilean architect Alejandro Aravena was handed over the baton to curate the 2016 Venice Architecture Biennale, political situations around the world had dramatically changed. He's responded to this with Reporting from the Front, a hard-hitting biennale which puts the spotlight on architectural wars to be waged and battles to be won on a micro and macro level to help improve quality of life in these unstable times. Austria responded to the challenge with the most practical approach, spending their biennale budget on real initiatives in Vienna, which are chronicled in their pavilion.
In the light of the events of last year's summer, when thousands of refugees landed in Vienna and they could not be sheltered, we felt addressed as architects, as exhibition makers, but also as members of civil society, and we wanted to become active. So action speaks louder than words. And we thought, let's take the risk and initiate something.
Carmel, EOS, and Next Enterprise Architects are working with NGOs on 3 ongoing projects to convert empty buildings into humane places to live for people seeking asylum. In bringing these stories to Venice, the curators are questioning what architecture can meaningfully contribute in times of crisis and emergency.
We think nobody can say that we cannot do better. We can. The only question is, do we want to do it better?
Svea Fenn's iconic pavilion in the Giardini is a heady space to contemplate architecture. This year's exhibition chose to shine a psychoanalytical light on the historical, cultural and societal connections of Nordic architecture to excavate its potential for the future.
In the case of the Nordic countries, which are developed countries that are actually an example for the rest of the world, you will think that they don't have any questions to solve now. They have this fantastic education system, very democratic social model, but actually they are facing challenges such as the fall of the oil prices, what is happening now with immigration. So what do you do when you have a problem and you want to find the question and the answer? You go to a psychoanalyst. So that is what this is in therapy.
Based on Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a pyramid constructed from Swedish pine is central to the pavilion. Here, visitors can explore some 300 architectural projects that have been instrumental in constructing contemporary Nordic society.
We didn't make any distinction between countries. And that was very interesting because you see that there is a constant among them. In very architectural terms, that it is very obvious, the materials, the wood, the light, the special qualities that are very common to these countries. But there is another constant, and that these architects take their profession with a very big responsibility and to be at the service. In this unconscious level, they know that they have to be part of it to construct a better society.
As more and more countries vie for visibility at this international exhibition of architecture, national pavilions now spill beyond the Giardini and into the Arsenale. Here, Turkey connected directly with the historic location by scavenging Istanbul dockyards to build a hybrid vessel to symbolize the pollination of race, religion, and culture in the cross-border politics of the region. Just next door, Singapore hosts Space to Imagine, Room for Everyone, which surfs over the island state's modern cityscape and goes behind the walls of private homes to look at how people are interacting and using their environments. And in the dramatic installation called Losing Myself, Ireland reflects on the complexities of designing for dementia and lessons learned. Back on British territory in the Giardini, and the home is the front line for the curators of the British Pavilion. Home Economics proposes 5 new models for domestic life, curated through time, proposing new futures for the home in light of the seismic shifts in society over the past 2 decades.
What they did was make some observations about how we live and how our way of life is changing, either through social arrangements or through technology, through mobility and through economics. And so their idea was that architecture has to change too. We can't carry on building the same kinds of homes when we're living in a radically different way. Architecture should be much more related to what we seek as individuals in the home.
The new Australian pavilion, designed by Denton Corker Marshall and unveiled only last year, was home to the pool, an immersive sensory experience that explores the relationship between architecture, culture, and identity. Much like the Piazza in Italy, the pool is one of Australia's fundamental spaces, a great equaliser and a palpable metaphor for the nation's communal psyche.
The pool was both representing one thing in its inverse, the private and the public, the personal and the communal, the natural and the man-made. All those dichotomies are really the themes that we've explored in here, and that's what architecture is about. It has to be about tensions and dichotomies, and that's what makes an object really beautiful.
To create an emotional connection between space and people, the curators engaged 8 non-architects to share their anecdotal memories of life poolside.
2 of them are authors, 2 of them are Olympians, one of them is a singer, 2 of them are fashion designers, and another one's an environmentalist and an Indigenous art curator. And they all have this different relationship, they see it in a different light, but fundamentally they all come back to this concept of public space and connecting with other people.
And people were at the heart of Romania's curatorial offering, inviting visitors to manipulate a community of automata, giving a sense of involvement, if not complete control. The simple and haltering mechanics of this interactive stage touches on Alejandra Aravena's interest in architecture as an instrument of self-government and the opportunities ahead for people to engage in the world being built around them. In Venice, for Monocle, I'm Gillian Tobias.